Hey, real estate rock stars, welcome to the whole enchilada of real estate investing, the only podcast that serves up the full feast of street smart strategies to build wealth and take control of your financial future. I'm Lou Brown, and I've been in the real estate game since 1976, so I've learned how to make the whole plate worth it. Each week, I'll be dishing out creative financing hacks and proven systems that help investors build multi-million-dollar businesses. No fluff, just the good stuff, straight from the source. Ready to dig in and start making deals? Let's get to it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the whole enchilada of real estate investing with Lou Brown. And today we have Robert Marucci, and I'm so excited to welcome him because he is at a place I have been to before. He's from Waterbury, Connecticut, and I used to speak there quite often and have a lot of customers up there in the Connecticut market, definitely, you might say clients or licensees of our system up there. And so it's exciting to have you on board with a market that I'm familiar with, and definitely love to know more about who you are and what you do. And then we can get into how you operate. How about that?
Great.
So tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you do and and we'll get into in a little bit how you operate.
Lou, thank you. Thank you for having me. So, as you said, Robert Marucci, my business is real estate, and we're based out of Waterbury, Connecticut. Also have offices in Southington and Torrington. Real estate agents. We work with buyers and sellers. And also another business is real estate investing. So landlord, do some flips here and there, just everything that surrounds real estate.
So you speak our language, you know our song, you know what we're up to because you're up to the same thing, which is great. And I love when we can work with real estate agents because definitely we have an affinity for real estate agents. And in your world, that's exactly what you're doing, right? You became a real estate agent because you saw the benefits to your real estate business. Is that right?
Absolutely. I wanted to be an investor. I wanted to be a landlord. And the first couple of properties that I purchased, I loved researching them. I loved finding them, and I wanted more access to the properties that are potentially good investments. And then I fell in love with being an agent and became a broker, and here we are 15 years later.
It's a funny evolution, isn't it? That, sometimes people evolve to investing in real estate from being a real estate agent, and others evolve to being a real estate agent because they actually get filled up. They get enough properties for themselves, and they say, I can go help other people get properties too.
Absolutely. And that's definitely a big part of it.
I love that. I love that. Well, one of the unique things about what we do is we find buyers that need our services. So what we do is find deserving families that want home ownership, but for whatever reason, they don't fit in the banker's box, right? The banker has a box. And a lot of people don't fit in the banker's box, by the way. So it becomes really quite interesting that we can be of service to them because we find out how much down payment they have and how much they can afford on a monthly basis. They join our membership, and then we're able to put them with a licensed mortgage loan originator and determine exactly where they are, what their box is, and then go custom buy a property for their situation. So it fits very beautifully with working with real estate agents because often they have leftovers. They have people that they were not able to move into a home for whatever reason. The closing blows up right at the last minute, or they never were going to make it to a closing in the first place because the credit was too bad or whatever. Have you seen that in your business?
Absolutely. I mean, the debt to income ratio that the banks talk about, I find a big gap when it comes to business owners. So when they take business owners and they potentially have good credit, but then the tax returns don't show the W-2 income that the banks want. Even though I know they clearly can afford a property, I think there is a big gap, and it sounds like you guys can bridge that gap for a lot of
We
potential
do. We
hires.
do. In fact, we have a program called the Path to Home Ownership, and we can take people at any level of their current situation and show them how they can grow up. In fact, our paperwork is wired to move them up each level until they can obtain home ownership with a new loan from the bank.
Yep.
And for the investor, you're able to sell at a premium price. You're able to cut out all the typical cost to sell. So it makes it a lot, in fact, incredibly more highly profitable because you're being able to make those distinctions and provide those services and not have those expenses.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I love that. I love that. So you're a family man, and so you've been at this game for a while. Tell us about your family.
So, I'm married to my wonderful wife, Yolanda. Been 15 years we've been married. And we have 2 children, a boy and a girl. One's turning 13 next month, and one just turned 11. Very athletic children, constantly into sports. So we're busy just with them. And we also try to keep the kids well-rounded, and I bring them to work all the time. So they're learning the value of hard work and trying to teach them the way of investing.
Man, that is beautiful and definitely needed. They don't teach this stuff in schools. They don't teach financial planning. They don't teach financial literacy even in schools. So, it's great that you've become a great teacher and mentor for them. Now, in your world, you also are a real estate investor, and you have evolved your business to buying single family, and then you've evolved it from there. Tell us about your world of, first of all, why did you choose investing in real estate?
I'm a reader of a lot of books. So back when, maybe when I graduated college, I started reading, and the one book that probably many people talk about was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Read that book, and that was really eye-opening to me. And basically what I got out of that book is real estate can be one of the best investments in the world. And firsthand, I can tell you it can't be. And I love real estate like you love real estate because there's so many different avenues. And I feel like there's a lot of, every time you make an investment, there's a risk. But I feel like with real estate, there's a lot of different ways to make it profitable. If you're going to flip a property and the market crashes, you can transition and be a landlord and then take the tax benefits from it. So I kind of got into that world, and I started with, I wanted to buy multifamily homes, and the first couple were 2-family properties, and I still have those properties from 2008, but I transitioned from multifamily and I started buying the single family homes. In 2010, I think I bought my first single family home, and from there, being a landlord in a single family home, it was a lot, I wouldn't say easier, but a lot less phone calls, a lot less stress in a single family home when there's no double occupancies. And you may not get the cash flow from a single family, but you don't get the turnover. You don't get the headaches like I talked about. The appreciation tends to be a little bit better with single families. And if you decide that you don't want a house anymore, it's pretty easy to sell single family. It's not as easy to sell a multi, because when you sell a multi, it's usually to an investor and they want a good price.
Yeah.
You're not going to get top dollar necessarily for a multi. And then I transitioned from single families. I started buying mixed use properties. And I believe it's starting to catch on with people, because especially if you're a business owner, I think it is a great option, because if you own a business, you could potentially have an office that you rent for free to yourself. And because the first floor can be commercial, second, third floor, whatever, depending on the building, is residential tenants. And they typically cover all your expenses, mortgage, taxes, insurance. So we transitioned into that for a few years. And then more recently, we bought some Airbnb properties. I like to call them short-term rentals. And if you can buy them in the right locations, you need a draw. two properties that we just purchased, the draw is Rhode Island, so the beach. So the ocean is close by, within walking distance, and that makes it a very good rental, especially during the summer months when people have vacationing.
Man, that is a varied background, and definitely you got a lot of experience in a lot of arenas that has helped to well round your business. And wow, you've also, as a real estate broker, not only are you an agent, you're a broker and you've got agents under you, right?
Yes, yep. There's 30 of us now. Myself and 29 agents, and it's a really close knit group. We've been together a long time, growing slowly each year. Pick up about 2 or 3 agents a year.
That's phenomenal. That's a great income generator as well. And, sometimes some of my broker friends call it kindergarten. They,
Yeah,
they just feel like they're running a kindergarten. But,
yeah.
yeah,
It's a really great industry. And we're navigating this interesting real estate climate that we are in, with prices extremely high, interest rates still high, although they seem to be trending lower now, which is good,
yeah.
bright spot. But it is an interesting it in our area, in so Waterbury, where the main office is, the values almost went up 150% over the last 5 years,
Yeah.
which is like unheard of.
That's the,
So we're navigating it. People that could have been buyers turned into renters over the last couple of years, and that made the rental market go through the roof. So it's an interesting environment out there for real estate.
well, that's when you say to yourself, why didn't I buy more? Why didn't I buy more? Because look what's happened. And I always remind people about that this business is a very forgiving business and
Yes.
inflation is a real thing. It's going to happen. It's not if, but when.
Yep.
And you are going to get the benefits of inflation each and every year, but especially cumulatively. And then on top of that, when you've got people in there that are paying an adjustable payment every month or every year rather, you also get the benefit of being hedged against inflation with the income. So you've really got the ideal investment. I call it income, depreciation, equity buildup, appreciation, and leverage. So it really is the ideal investment. And, you just can't go wrong with single family and small multifamily properties as well, because you've really got an opportunity to get an asset and maximize the returns on that asset. I love that. Now, given somebody, let's say we're talking to somebody that's just getting started in the business. You got started in the business too. You went through that learning curve. You went through that aha moment that, hey, real estate might make sense. I maybe ought to do this. And then you had to transition yourself from that aha moment to actually doing it. How was that for you?
So that was scary at first. Anytime you make a big purchase and a big jump into something that is unknown, it is scary. So I did try to mentally prepare myself. Like I said, I was a big reader, so I read a lot of different books on different investment opportunities out there. So really educating myself really helped with the whole process. And then getting in there and doing it, like just taking that first step and making, even if you just go and look at a bunch of houses with someone that has done it before. So I always say, in real estate, if you're going to pick an agent, make sure that agent has purchased a home before, because purchasing a home gives you a ton of knowledge, and you can pick that person's brain and have them help, guide you through the buying process without making these huge mistakes that some people make.
So what you really want is an investor agent. You want someone who understands your music,
Yeah.
your words, your terminology, what you're up to, because they're up to the same thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You could match yourself with what your vision is with someone that has actually done it before. It's going to make the process a lot smoother. It's going to create less mistakes.
I love that. I think that's great advice if you're going to be a real estate investor is and you're going to work with real estate agents, is to find somebody that has that background and experience. And I always encourage everybody to look, you're going to go to build a team, and that team should include one or more real estate agents. And one of the things that we do, which may be of interest to you, is we actually contact real estate agents from the other angle. And we say, probably you have some folks that you attempted to help with purchasing a property. They weren't able to buy the property for whatever reason. The closing blew up, just like I said a few minutes ago, or they didn't fit in the banker's box. Do you have anybody that you weren't able to help? Maybe we can be of help, and you can earn up to a full commission. How does that sound? So that's kind of the little conversation.
That sounds great. That sounds like I'm bringing that up at my next meeting.
Exactly.
Agents.
Exactly. So now you are in that unique position as a broker. You got 30 agents under you. All of them have people like that in their phone, right?
Absolutely.
And imagine that we can flip the script and go custom buy a property for those people and become the investor agent, and actually purchase that property and have it in our own portfolio, where now, and some of these people have sizable down payments. It's not like playtime in Sandbox. These people are serious. They're business owners. Many times they know what they're doing. They have a good income, but the bankers don't love entrepreneurs. That's just the bottom line.
Ever since I got into this business, I've been saying that the mortgage industry has to change. There has to be something better. It's just too hard. It's too difficult. Things take too long. And the debt to income ratios, they sometimes don't make sense. Someone can be worth $5 million, but they don't have a good weekly income, and the bank will be like, I'm not lending you $100,000. And I'm like, how does that make sense? They're worth $5 million. So I love it.
Well, guess what? The industry has changed.
Yeah.
Guess what?
I just wasn't looking far enough.
Very solution. So that's why we call ourselves certified affordable housing providers, because that's what we're really looking for, is customers that we can serve. And affordable housing is not the price of the home, it's what the person can afford. So that's the first evaluation we do, is what can they afford? And then we go about finding the property, buying it right, buying it cheap, and buying it creatively, so that we don't have to go to banks and qualify for loans and do the traditional side of the business. With your 30 agents, how many of those are also investors, or are you bringing them along in that conversation?
I would say probably a third of them have one or two investment homes. For sure.
I love it.
Yeah.
So that's a start. And when they see others that are doing it, and that they see that there's a possibility out there, one of the things I encourage landlords on is the fact that you can make a lot more money on a single family home or small multifamily home than you think you can. So there's the basics of, you've got your underlying financing, and then you rent it out, and the difference is your profit. And that's not really true. I mean, that once you deduct the water heater and the roof and everything else, then it can make the cash flows quite low. So we start there, and we have 25 profit centers over and above what a normal landlord makes. And that's what makes the business start making sense, because you can carry that property and you're getting a nice income stream just by providing additional services to the clients that are there.
I love it.
It's a beautiful thing. So I love the fact that you're, inspiring people from an investment standpoint, and also that you have this amazing varied background as well. Short-term rentals is another buzzword, and you're into that world. Our belief is cash now, cash flow, and cash forever. And that's the subtitle of my Buy, Hold, Sell book. And, because when you can have a residence and it can provide more cash flow than a traditional buyer, then that's what we're going to do until we can't do that anymore. Then go on to something else, but we got the foundation of that property. What can you say to someone that is thinking about short-term rentals?
So I think the biggest thing that I found with short-term rentals is you have to find a property with some draw to it. When I say draw, meaning why would someone want to rent that property? Whether it's the casino in Connecticut, if you're near Foxwoods or Mohegan, a lake, if you have a lake that you can go jet skiing or water skiing. And then the best one that I found and what I'm doing myself is the ocean. So being within walking distance to a beach by an ocean is a huge draw, especially during the summer months.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So really don't just buy a home in a neighborhood, but buy something that people in a place people want to go for some reason,
Yeah, for some reason.
and you can maximize the income.
Absolutely. And you could get creative where we are, we're close to colleges, and you can rent to college students during the college semesters. So it would be from September through June, through May. And then you can maximize your profit by renting it out June, July, August, weekly to people that want to go on weekly vacations.
So you're biting out of two sides of the apple right there. You got the
Yeah.
long-term renters during the season, you've got the short-term renters.
Yeah. So it really works out. And then what we do is we take a week or two and we bring our families and we enjoy the house ourselves. And that makes it all really worth it. Because we used to rent an Airbnb every year and spend $5,000. And now we are able to enjoy our own.
Oh man, that sounds like a plan,
Yeah.
and definitely another reason to get into that arena. Out of a 30, so then it's not really a problem for you. Out of a 30-day month, you are rented pretty much the whole time then.
Yeah. So right now, currently, it's been 5 years and every summer has been completely booked. Like right now, we're already booked through almost the entire summer in 2026.
Wow.
So
What's
it is,
your, go ahead.
yeah. So it's incredible. Like we did not expect that when we bought the first property. It wasn't something we just wanted one kind of close to the ocean. It was a dream of ours, and it kind of turned into an investment. And then that's where I was like, now I want another one.
That's brilliant. And a write-off too.
Oh, absolutely. The depreciation is incredible.
What's your average rental? How much do you earn, say,
For
weekly or monthly on that?
So during the summer, July and August, it's anywhere from 700 to 850 per night. And we rent, yep,
Oh,
and we rent it out per week. So it's a little over $5,000 for the week.
and you use Airbnb to do that?
We actually use both Airbnb and Vrbo. So
Uh-huh.
we use both. We want to maximize the exposure. And Vrbo actually does a little better in Rhode Island for us than Airbnb. But Airbnb is lower fees. So
Uh-huh.
they're a lower fee. They're almost half the fees of Vrbo.
Wow,
So we
that's
try to
significant.
get more Airbnb for that reason, but it
Because
tends to
the
Vrbo. People are looking at Vrbo just as much.
wow, so the net and the gross are two different things, right? So
Yeah.
you definitely end up with a bigger net on the Airbnb, it sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, that's a plan. What do you see for today's economy? What do you see what's on the horizon for you?
So for me personally,
For what you see in the real estate arena for investors or people looking to use your services?
yeah. So I started in 2007 and it was probably the biggest real estate crash ever that ensued right after. So I was through that and a lot of the things, to be honest with you, that happened then feel like it could be happening now. The values are super high. Interest rates are super high right now. Inventory was super low. Now the inventory is creeping up. So I don't think there's going to be a crash like 2007, but I do feel there is a correction on the horizon because the values just went up too fast and people just kind of bought too quickly. They overpaid. Inflation hit, like we talked about. So I don't know necessarily if everybody can afford the homes that they bought. So I do foresee a lot of foreclosures coming back on the market. HUDHomestore.com for the last 5 years there's no properties on there, available, no foreclosure, nothing happened during COVID. But now if you go on there now, there's homes popping up. There's 2, 3 per town. So I am seeing the foreclosures coming back a little bit. I'm seeing price decreases on homes that for 5 years we've never seen price decreases. I'm seeing open houses again because people can't sell their house as quickly before. You're hearing the chatter of other states that are changing from a seller's market to a buyer's market. So I hear Florida. I don't know much about Florida, but I hear Florida's already changed to a buyer's market.
Mhm.
Rhode Island, I'm actually a licensed agent out there too now, and there's so many. The inventory just probably tripled in the last year. So I do see it. I feel like there's a correction coming. I feel like prices aren't going to continue to go up in the near future. They're going to level off, maybe come down a little bit. So I do feel like there is more opportunities for investors.
Man, that was great. That was great input, and definitely exactly where I see the market as well, and such an opportunity. And it got a little bit garbled there, but what Robert said is the HUDHomestore.com. And so you guys can take advantage of that. Just go there, and what you're going to see is something amazing that we track those numbers too. And it's crazy. It's crazy what we have seen because, of course, there was a moratorium, there was the delay, there was no properties, there was nothing. They weren't foreclosing on anything. And now they are.
Yeah. Now they're trying to catch up.
Now they're coming back. And, we have a whole criteria around that. And in fact, a whole bidding process around that. Well, one of the things you need to know, guys, is you can go to HUD Home Store if you want to, but you're going to need a real estate agent because real estate agents are the portal into the HUD Home Store as far as bidding and the bidding process. So you're going to want to align with an agent like Robert that can get you in that door because it's a very good door to go through.
Yep.
Helped one of my guys get like 26 properties. Another guy up in New York, he was in Illinois, another one in New York. He was buying them like one every 2 weeks, I think he was buying. And so we've had a lot of success with that particular portal, especially for people that are busy. They got their family, they got jobs, they got everything else going on in their life, and they want to get into real estate investing, but they really don't know what to do next. Get yourself a real estate agent that is an investor, that understands what you're doing, and has that qualification of being able to access the HUD Home Store, because that could be another place for you to be able to access as well. Well, Robert, you've been amazing today. What else would you like to share with our audience about you and what you do and how you do it and what can help them?
Yeah. So I had this new program I've been working on for 15 years. I've been trying to figure out how to do this program. I've been saying it's needed. We need to do this, but I never had the infrastructure. I just changed the name. I call it Curb to Close. And what that means is my company will help you stage your property to sell, but not traditional staging. What we do is we get it ready to sell. So we do all the minor updates that are needed from start to finish. So if your home needs power washing, if it needs painting, if it needs cleaning, if it needs decluttering, I have the team. Finally, I have a great team that will take care of all of that. And the best part about the program is that there's no money out of pocket until the closing. So quick story, we had in a state, prior client of mine said the attorney just put the house, we're going to accept the contract for $202,000. I'm like, $202,000 in a very nice town. And I'm like, let me look at it. I looked at it. It was 5 years vacant, and it was gross. I mean, it was gross. But I'm like, listen, if we
You said no wonder it's
202,000 when houses that size in that town are selling for $450. So I said, listen, let's clean this place up. We're going to get rid of all the garbage. We're going to clean the mold. We're going to take down all the trees in the front because you can't even see the house anymore. Long story short, we two 30-yard dumpsters. We basically cleaned the exterior, cleaned the interior, just got rid of everything for $10,600. Within 1 week, I got him 323. Closed, sold. He ended up making an extra $110,000 with no money out of pocket. It was incredible. So that's an extreme case, but that's the type of stuff that we do because in this industry, I feel like there's a ton of equity. People have a ton of equity, but they don't have a ton of cash. So they use that word that I hate, as is. We as investors, we love it. Real estate agent, I hate that word because when you say as is, you're leaving money on the table. You're not doing the minor repairs. You're not painting. You're not cleaning. You're not decluttering. You're not mulching, power washing, because all those things really add value to your property. So we're doing that for people. Last year we did 7 properties and saw an average of like $50,000 to $100,000 of increase in market value.
Wow.
To our sellers, and they don't put any money out of pocket. We put it all in, and they reimburse us at the closing. And we're putting anywhere from $1,000 to we just did one for $15,000 because it needed a lot, but it really cleaned up really well. And
so you're not rehabbing bathrooms and putting in new kitchens and that kind of thing. You're just getting it looking sweet, so they'll just pay attention to the things they need to pay attention to, and not every single thing, right?
Yeah, no, only things that will add value. And kitchens and bathrooms, I never recommend because 1, you may not get your money back, and 2, it just takes too long. We want to get you on the market and sell.
You're more prehabbing it than rehabbing it, right?
Yes.
You're prehabbing it, you're getting it looking great and at least looking attractive and something that people can see themselves doing. That's a beautiful thing. It opens up a much bigger part of the market.
Yeah.
I know a lot of my people are thinking, well, now why didn't you do it? Why didn't you just buy it for 202 and do that gig yourself?
So absolutely. I told him right then and there, I said, I'll give you 220, $18,000 higher than him right now to buy your place. I said, but I think you're leaving a lot of money on the table, and this is what you should do. But I did. I offered him $220,000 right now. I'll find the money. Don't worry. And he's like, no, I appreciate it. Let's go that route. And we actually.
So you offered him an option, an alternative.
Yeah.
And I like that too, because sometimes people are just ready to go. They don't want to have any fluff, no puff. Just give me what I got, what you can give me right now, and I'm off to the races, right?
Yeah.
We use something, we call it the cost to sell worksheet. And we've got a whole worksheet where we involve the seller in the process of coming up with the offer price. And we literally help them to learn how we arrive at that number very transparently. And they're participating because they're writing in the number a whole bit. And we get down to the final bottom line, and that's the offer. And if they like that offer, we're done because we've already built in our cost of funds and everything in there. And that's the example of the kind of person that would just say, hey, let me move on.
Yeah.
But hey, no, I don't like that number. Then we show them how we can buy it creatively. And when we can buy it creatively, we can give them anywhere from more to a lot more money for their property just by allowing creative financing. Yeah. So I love what you're doing too. And, a different angle on it is to, have them participate. It's almost like a partnership where you're coming in and saying, all right, let's do an equity share here. And let me show you how you can make a lot more money on this same property.
Yeah, because for 15 years, I would tell people the same thing. You have to clean, you have to declutter, you have to fix these minor repairs. And half the time they wouldn't do any of them because one, maybe they didn't have time, maybe they didn't have money. And then the biggest thing more recently is you can't find anybody to do a small job. Contractors don't want to go and fix a door and fix a leak that was, old. And that's where we come in and we help. We help out with
I
that.
love that. I think that's a great idea and definitely another takeaway from this great edition. Tell us how we can connect with you, Robert, and love to send some business your way.
Yeah, you could always visit our website. It's betterlivingrealtyllc.com. Office phone number is 203-756-2520, and we're available anytime.
Man, thank you so much. And any parting words that you'd like to share?
Well, I really appreciate it, and please invest in real estate if you can. It is the best investment in the world, in my opinion.
Amen. And yeah,
Yeah,
baby. Thank you so much, Robert, for being with us today and looking forward to seeing you again real soon.
same here.
All right, guys, we'll see you soon on another edition of the whole enchilada of real estate investing with Lou Brown. Yeah, baby.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the whole enchilada of real estate investing. I hope you're feeling ready to take your investing game to the next level. If you're serious about building wealth, you won't want to miss the Millionaire Jumpstart. It's a 3-day live event that's perfect for any level of investor. Whether you're just getting started or you're looking to scale, this can be one of the final steps of making real wealth happen. So, what are you waiting for? Enroll now at millionairejumpstart.com and get ready to make big moves in your real estate journey. I'm Lou Brown. Until next time, keep hustling. And remember, it's not about how much you make, it's about how smart you play the game.